Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Didina. I'm going to be reacting to Ready or Not's horrifying tutorial. I have never played this game, I haven't heard of it, but my community member has recommended it to me, and at least to watch this video to get a good understanding of the lore in this game, I believe. I'm literally going into this blind, so I have no idea what I'm gonna be experiencing, but I hope you enjoy. And if you would like me to react to more of this kind of video, then be sure to send me your recommendations down below in the comments. But if not, then let's enjoy it. And I will be pausing throughout the video, so I hope you're okay with that.
Ready or Not is an incredibly frightening game. Its very nature is meant to unsettle the player. As we progress through the main game's missions, we'll see mass shootings, human and child trafficking, school shooters, and a variety of other really fucked up things that I probably shouldn't be mentioning here. And all of this madness and this pandemonium and pain starts at the gas station. Thank You Come Again is the first mission that we play in Ready or Not, and it's essentially a nightmare disguised as a tutorial level.
Can I just say that this person's video editing is so nice, but also that is disturbing. I guess I should mentally prepare myself for this. I did hear that they do cover some pretty sensitive topics and dark stuff. I just wasn't sure what to expect though, so this is quite something, I guess. Gas station, huh?
On first glance, the map seems regular enough. However, as we make our way through this level, Ready or Not...
I do have to say, there might be times when I have to look away, not because I don't like it, it's mostly because I have motion sickness when it comes to first-person stuff. So I might look away, but I will be listening sometimes. Just be aware of that.
Slowly reveals that we might not be as prepared for all of this as we thought. Never have I seen an introduction in a game set the tone as quickly, and in a title that doesn't really rely on scripted cutscenes or dialogue, that's really impressive. In just a short 10 minutes, the gameplay is able to convey to us all the information that we need to know. This game is brutal, it is merciless, and it is real.
Yeah, that is merciless. Thank You Come Again. Oh boy. Mentally preparing myself now.
We're initially told in our briefing that this situation is a classic robbery gone wrong. Sometime around midnight, a DeBanco money truck came by to make a collection. However, right as employees were emptying the safe, 3 armed intruders entered the store. Now, it's important to note that this gas station is open 24/7, meaning that at the time of all of this, there were still several customers within the building. Being quickly surrounded by police and unable to make their escape, the men have now barricaded themselves inside, taking everyone hostage. And upon our arrival, everything from that briefing is confirmed. Next to the pumps outside, we can see a man who has been shot, who is one of the hostages that tried to get away. Further behind the building, we can see the DeBanco truck we mentioned earlier. Its door is still sealed shut though, so it would seem that the intruder's initial plan of robbing it didn't really play out. If we continue to look around, we can find even more things of note, such as a broken DeBanco ATM with a sticker on it that says, "No cash out." On the nearby bulletin board, we can also see a poster for a DeBanco workers demonstration, which reads, "Pickets welcome, no violence." Now, to me, this would suggest that the DeBanco employees are on strike, and as a result, they've been understaffed and unable to refill the ATMs around.
I like how there's random Korean there on the side. 대형 중기. 외부 차량 주차 금지. Oh, so they can't record.
In the city, this same understaffing
or it's not recorded.
What led to them being susceptible to an attack like this. As
that makes
they
sense.
Lack the necessary security staff to prevent a robbery like this from occurring. On the same bulletin board, we can also see an
or it's the DeBanco employees that are the robberies or the robbers.
Open letter to garbage men, which would indicate that Los Sueños' garbage union might also be on strike.
Are you
Anyway, so
serious?
now that we've investigated outside, it's time we work our way inside the building and see this chaos for ourselves. If you walk through the front door, you'll find yourself in the main part of the convenience store, where aside
That
from a
makes sense.
suspect or two, we won't find too much of interest. If we continue along the right side of this section, though, we'll find a walk-in freezer, and further past that is a small diner. When we make our way through the diner door, we can immediately see a deceased individual. He's been shot several times, and next to his body is a jammed pistol. We can also see where this victim had been sitting, and on his table sits a veteran's hat and a protest sign that reads, "No to the anti-vet bill." Now, through all of this, it's obvious to see that this man was a veteran, and when he saw this chaos unfolding, he decided to try and take matters into his own hands. However, a strike of bad luck would render his weapon useless, and both he and his dog would be gunned down.
Not the dog.
After we secure this dining area, we make our way into a small hallway where we can see 2 bathrooms and a door back into the convenience store. However, to our left, we find what seems to be a small breakroom area. So for now, let's investigate that. Now, as we work our way through this area, we can see several interesting things of note. The first being a bulletin board immediately when we enter. Now, the board shows several different
Do not serve
pictures
this
and
man.
notes, but what sticks out to me the most is a weird photo of a man with chocolate on his face, which says, "Attention, do not serve this man." Now, I'm not really sure of the significance behind this picture, but I thought it was weird, so I needed to mention it. Further into the break room, we can find some lockers, a whiteboard, and some Employee of the Month photos. We can also find a refrigerator with a note on it that reads, "Whoever keeps stealing my sandwiches, please stop. Hasim." And funnily enough, if we go back over to the lockers, we can find another note on Arab's locker, which reads, "Hey, hope you enjoyed that laxative sandwich. Hasim." It would seem that Hasim has gotten fed up with Arab's bullshit and has taken matters into his own hands.
Actually,
I
good job, Hasim.
Don't touch another man's sandwich. This
Exactly.
dialogue is the only levity that we'll find in this mission, though. As
Oh,
we
no.
continue, we come face to face with the corpse of the store manager, who has been shot point blank in the face. Sitting next to him is his ringing phone, where he is receiving countless calls from his wife. Now, seeing this for the first time on my first playthrough was a real gut punch. As you guys probably know by now, Void is sort of notorious for using phone calls as a storytelling device. At different points in the game, you'll see people's phones ringing, knowing that it's a relative of a victim. But when you get to see the actual contact information and the name has a heart next to it, it hits even harder. Because through that one simple detail, it's conveyed to us that that woman's never going to see her husband again. And that's really fucked
pretty
up.
much.
This
That really
feeling of
is.
fucked-upness is further solidified when we make our way into the manager's office, where we can see a diploma and a certificate from the U.S. Forest Service. Because that dead guy over there, who's getting calls from his wife, volunteered in all of his free time to be a watchman with the local fire department. This level does a fantastic job of showing us who these people were without us ever seeing them for ourselves. When we see the dead veteran and store manager, we genuinely feel bad for them. Not because they're some random dead characters, but because the game shows us how much they meant to those around them. This point and rant aside, though, we can also find the store's safe in this office, which has already been opened and looted. On a nearby whiteboard, we can read, "Make sure to empty all of the registers into the safe for tomorrow's pickup." So perhaps the men weren't trying to rob the bank truck itself, but instead knew that its arrival was the only time that the store's safe would be open. And why just rob the store's registers when you can take everything that they've got? In the office, we can also see a phone where a message has been left behind for the deceased manager.
Hi, Mudasir. I got your message about the on-site safe. I am trying my best to get that sorted out as soon as possible. I know the ATMs have been a huge problem, and you know DeBanco's been having a lot of issues as well lately. So give me a call back when you get this and we can talk about that. And there is also the other incident that I want to talk about as well. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Other incident?
This phone call is from the store's owner, as he seems to already know about the issues with the safe and the ATMs. He also says that he wants to talk about the other incident that occurred
What is
at the
that?
store, which might have something to do with a poisoned sandwich in the break room. But anyways, the owner
I kind of hope
confirms
it's
our
that.
theory that the ATMs have been down due to issues with the banco, not something isolated to just this store. Aside from all of this though, we still have one last job to do. A young girl named Crystal Layden was separated from her mother during the chaos, and we still need to find out where she's hiding. The only place that we've yet to search though is the kitchen, so we'll start there. While we're looking
Gosh, I
around
hope
in
the
here, though,
girl
we
is
can see
safe.
a newspaper that catches our eye, which reads, Trash Crisis in Los Sueños. Sudden walkout by trash haulers leads to major garbage buildup in 213 Park in the North Hills area. Interestingly enough, we actually have a mission in one of these areas, and when we go there, we can see the massive trash buildup that's mentioned here. On the other page of this newspaper, we can see the title, Debanco Disorder, which shows a photo of a protest with signs saying, We demand protection and Debanco ruins lives.
But isn't
Now,
it just
I
a
can't say
bank?
for certain if
How
this
does
is a
it
protest
can
being held
save?
by the employees of Debanco or customers, but with everything that we've seen so far, I think it's safe to say that Debanco doesn't exactly have a great reputation right now.
Clearly.
In a city that relies upon them for their services, they sure seem to be leaving everyone high and dry. And the times that they actually have workers to show up and do their job, crazy shit like this happens. I imagine that this is probably more common of an occurrence than Debanco would like us to believe, and this workers' demonstration is over employees not having enough protection on the job. After reading this newspaper though, we only have to look a little bit further before finding Crystal Layden, who is hiding behind a shelf in the nearby utility closet. And after doing this and clearing the rest of the area, the mission comes to an end.
At least one person's alive.
Now, in my personal opinion, Thank You Come Again is the most underrated level in Ready or Not. Not only is it a really fun and easy map to clear through, but the storytelling and world design is just about as good as it gets.
Feels very
When a game
realistic.
can make me feel sympathy for a character that I never saw alive, I think that's pretty incredible.
I think one of the strongest things that they've done, and let me go back, are the whole details where we get the jammed gun, the signs that they have, the dead dog, and just small things like, yes, this poster, but also the thing with the sandwich. You kind of get a better understanding of what their daily lives were like and what the dynamics are between these supposed side characters, and that just makes their death feel more real compared to a typical scenario where you just kind of just see a dead body and nothing else. Like maybe you'll learn their backstory a little bit, but that's about it. But no, here it feels more real. You might not fully understand who they are as a person or what their personality is, but you do get this sense of sadness and sorrow and grief that one might feel if when they realize, oh, if only I had gotten here sooner, then would they still be alive? But maybe not even to that degree, but it still feels a lot more real compared to those flashbacks because you're pulling all the information together and then forming your own impression of the person who is dead, and you're seeing them on the floor dead like that. Like what he's mentioned with the phone and the call and the awards, it just feels very realistic to the point that it's almost very disturbing in that sense. And I can see why they call it disturbing or horrifying for that reason alone. Thankfully, we did manage to find one person alive, but these small details really show us like this is the reasons why this ended up happening, and this type of norm or normal standards or situation or living situation it is in this area can be quite terrifying. But let me go back.
Easy map to clear through, but the storytelling and world design is just about as good as it gets. When a game can make me feel sympathy for a character that I never saw alive, I think that's pretty incredible. And
yes,
this level does it twice. Not only that, but the lore with the Banco and then the garbage unions is just super fascinating to me. I think it's really interesting to see how small things like that we usually take for granted, when taken away, make a place a living, breathing hell. Plus,
Oh,
when we
yes.
see these tiny details
That's
in
very true.
newspapers and posters become major parts of the storyline later, that's pretty cool. I'm really excited to hear what you guys think about all of this, though.
Oh, so they actually do continue. I know he mentioned the story taking, or the game taking on the consequences of the garbage, or at least in an area with all the garbage issues. But it's interesting that they also continue with the anti-vet bills and continue to have it like, I didn't fight for this country to watch my brothers die of hunger and more. That's quite interesting.
Parts of the storyline
I like that.
later, that's pretty cool. I'm really excited to hear what you guys think about all of this, though. Was it as impactful for you as it was for me? I'd really love to hear your thoughts down below. As always,
Well, it was very
I really
impactful for
appreciate
me
you guys tuning in for today's video.
to listening to you talk about it.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is post-recording Isaac, and I just wanted to let you all know that I now have an official Patreon page, right?
Make sure to support them. If you enjoyed the video, you know the drill.
If you want to help me continue to make it, feel free to check out the Patreon page. For just $5 a month, you can have your name featured in all of my upcoming videos, and you'll receive access to
the editing is so clean.
early.
I love it.
Now, for those of you who aren't interested, don't worry, because all of my content is still going to be hosted right here on YouTube. But if you'd like to see your name in the videos, and if you'd like to see them early, check out the Patreon. Much love. I'm out.
I really enjoyed that video. It was a lot more enticing. Made the world a lot more enticing and interesting. And I quite very much enjoyed the way that he organized the information and basically walked me through the entire tutorial stage and talked about the issues and the things that stood out. It just, although this is a very, obviously, I can't really say horrifying though. It feels just more realistic, and that's what makes it horrifying. As someone once said, humans are more terrifying than the supernatural. And this game seems to really depict that in particular, because when a life is lost, it can't ever come back. And you feel that impact even more when you see the reminders like the phone ringing and just the quietness. I think what was most interesting about the game after watching this video was how quiet the game felt. Like, usually for a lot of things, they want to make it flashier or loud or explosive and like super standout kind of thing, like trying a little bit too hard with that. But for this game, it just feels very quiet. And in some ways, I think real life is also very quiet in that sense. Maybe not in like a job or whatever, the day-to-day, but in the overall scheme of things, it feels very quiet. Even if you're struggling or not struggling. And whether you're comfortable with that silence or not is what I feel like this game portrays really well. Because if you're comfortable with that kind of situation, then it doesn't feel as disturbing. Or if you're used to that silence, rather than liking or living it. But if you're not comfortable with that kind of silence, then this quiet portrayal in the game might feel even more disturbing, or at least it heightens your opinions and experience while playing the game, I assume. Do correct me if I'm wrong, though. If the game is actually quite loud and trying too hard or something, then let me know. I would love to know. But I feel like, considering what he said so far, it feels like it's a very almost quiet game. Not in the sense that, as in, it's not like it's muted or anything, but like the vibe and the mood of the game feels very quiet. And that's what's scary about it. I think it's kind of similar to how some people feel when they watch true crimes. Like, you know, it actually happened, And so, but then when you hear someone talk about it, it feels very quiet. You feel like there's like this quietness, this grief, this sorrow, this tragedy, just quiets your or silences your mind in some ways. It makes you quite depressed or disturbed. And I think that's the strength of this game. It really depicts that particular grittiness of it. But that's just my assumption since I haven't played the game, and I won't be because I don't really like first person stuff. But I really enjoyed watching this video. Very good. I really liked the editing. It was very clean, and seriously, the way he explained how everything was going throughout the tutorial stage, it just lingers in your mind, and I really appreciate that about this content creator. Again, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to support the content creator who made this video, since it obviously takes a lot of work and effort. I would like you to show appreciation for them and by liking their video and commenting and maybe even subscribing to their Patreon. But if not, if you would just want to... Actually, no, you should. If you watch this one, then you better go like the other video. But in any case, if you want to watch more Ready or Not videos, or you want me to watch and react to them, then make sure to give me your recommendations down below in the comments. And make sure to give this video also a like and subscribe to my channel if you want more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!